Hello crafty friends, I'm Trina Wirihana. Today we're going to talk about our colouring sheets that are printable downloads from our Scrap and Season website. You can see here I have a sheet that I've printed on my printer, and then this is one that I've partly coloured already. I'm going to show you some close-up examples. So here you can see I've got lots and lots of sheets, all different hand-drawn designs. You can download these from our website and use them on your cards and projects, scrapbooking pages. We have all sorts of things, loads of different gnomes, florals, all sorts of cute designs that can be used on many projects. These can be simply downloaded, printed, you can colour them. So you can see I've got an example here of colouring. These have been done with alcohol markers. So that's my favourite medium to use, is colouring with alcohol markers such as tri-blend markers, Copic markers. You can use whatever kind that you'd like. You could always use watercolour pencils, watercolour paints, any kind of colouring medium that you like. Now I prefer to print mine out on a white cardstock that has a little bit of weight on it, so that it's not too thin. That way when you colour them and fussy cut them out, they're going to be nice and thick to use on your cards and in your projects. So I have some finished examples here that we've already coloured and cut around. I like to use a small pair of nice sharp scissors for fussy cutting. So you'll see here that I have some containers full of images that my daughter and I, she loves to colour as well. So she will colour and cut all sorts of images for us to use on our cards. So these are some of the florals that we've coloured in. We have all kinds of images. There's beautiful fairies and mermaids, all sorts of different everyday characters. We have our little gnomes, and I'm always drawing new designs and adding them to our collections. We have little critters, so you can make cute little cards. We have some Christmas stamps as well. So lots and lots of options available in our downloads. If you have a look through there, through the section, you'll see pages and pages of designs. And like I said, I'm always adding to those all the time, coming up with new illustrations. So there are lots and lots of themes to choose from. Here you can see a range of cards that I've made using images that have come from our printable colouring sheets. So each one of these, I've printed them, coloured, fussy cut them out, and then added them to my cards. One of my favourite things to do, as you'll likely see here, I like to pop up some of these things on foam squares, which just gives it a bit of elevation, a bit of dimension, and it casts a shadow and really makes your images pop off the card. That's my favorite way to use them. And so you'll see this one here has our printed penguins, and this also has one of our SVG designs for a greeting, which I've cut out on my Cricut machine, done the layering, done a little bit of colouring here on the wording. And so we have lots of designs available that will help you do all these sorts of cards. Also, we have the SVG files for cutting out frames and these little layered backgrounds. So all sorts of things available in our library. So here I have an example of one of my 3D pop-up cards. The files for these are all in our digital library for our subscribers, and also available for purchase in our shop front as well. So this cute little one here, the base card is available as a SVG file, and then I've used our colouring elements that we've cut out to decorate this card. So this one here, the design is available as a SVG cut file. You could use on your Cricut machine, Silhouette, Brothers Scan & Cut, whatever cutting machine you have, and you're just going to pop that up and add whatever elements you want. You can change the colours of your base paper, your pattern papers, and use that pattern over and over again to create hundreds of cute individual cards. I have another little example here, just a very simple Z-fold card that I've made. Once again, using our colouring sheets to make these cute little characters pop up off our cards.
So now we'll go over to our computer so we can go step by step on how to download one of our colouring sheets from our subscription program. We're going to open our web browser so we can access the Scrap and Season website. For this, I'm using Google Chrome. If you're on a Mac, you may be using Safari or some other web browser. So here you'll see we have a new window. I'm going to do a Google search and type in Scrap and Season. I'm going to click enter, and you can see at the top it says Scrap and Season Designs. We click that link, it will take us to the home page of our website. Here on the navigation bar we have Home, Products, Subscription Plans, Blog, and to the far right we have Account. This is where you can log in to your Scrap and Season subscription account. If we come back to Products and hover, you'll see it will drop down, and Printables is towards the top of that, and Colouring Sheets will pop out the side, and you could click on Colouring Sheets to go into that section. And here if you scroll down, you'll see that we have a number of pages of colouring sheets available. Also, if we go back to the home page, you could scroll down the home page and you'll see the section at the top right is Printables Colouring Sheets. You could click on that icon to get into that same section as well. In the Printables Colouring Sheets section, you'll see in the storefront, each of those sheets has a price underneath them available for individual purchase. I'm going to show you how I'm going to log into my subscription program into the digital library so that I can download that as part of my subscription. Off to the right hand side we have Account, and if we click into there, then I can enter in my login details and sign into my account. This will bring us to the account page, and you will notice that the navigation bar at the top has changed now. Next to Home it now says Digital Library and Video Library. If we hover over the Digital Library tab, we can drop down, and towards the bottom it says Printables. When we click on that, we can see colouring sheets off to the side. It will say DL Colouring Sheets, and that shows that you're in the digital library. Here we are now in the digital library with the printable colouring sheets. You will see in this section that the prices are all zeroed out. As a subscriber, you no longer have to purchase these files individually. They're all included in your monthly fee, and you can access all of the digital library, any files that are in there. This also allows you to watch our video library and follow along with our tutorials and see projects being made step by step. Now we're going to take a look and find a colouring sheet that we want to download and print. Easter is coming up really shortly for us, so I think I'm going to choose one of these colouring sheets that has bunnies. I really like this one. So we're going to click on this one, and you can see the preview here. We're going to click to download the file. Here you can see now if I click the Download Now button, I can save this file onto my desktop so it's easy for me to find. Of course, you can save this into any folder that you like. Here I am on the desktop. You can see I've got my file here, and I can click it to preview it to see that it's the right one. Since I'm on Windows, I'm going to right-click the file and select Print from the drop-down menu. Now your print menu may look different to this depending on what computer you're using, whether you're running Mac OS or one of the many versions of Windows. I'm going to select my photocopier from the drop-down menu. This is my preferred printer. In the lower right corner, I'm going to select Options, click on Printer Properties, and I'm going to make some quick changes in here. I'm going to select one-sided print. Because I have a photocopier, I'm going to set my printer to use the bypass tray. This allows me to print onto a heavier cardstock, which is really good for colouring sheets. I'm also going to change to black and white. Because it is a colouring sheet, I don't need it to be colour. Click OK, and then Print. So now you can see we have the file being sent through to the printer. And here we have our print sheet ready for us to colour.
Now we can see here I have my printed sheet. I've got an example card of one that I've made previously using this same coloured sheet. So you'll see that this bunny is the exact same one. And for this one, I used some soft brush markers that are alcohol markers. Today, I'm going to do an example using some tri-blend markers from Spectrum Noir. So the great thing about these, they have a light, medium, and dark tone in the one pen. And so you can get 3 different shades of the same color in the one pen. So they're great for blending. And so I've chosen these colors here today. Aqua Blend or Aqua Blue, Citrus Blend, Alpine Green, Brown Grey, and a Coral Blend. And so I'm going to be working on this bunny here. One thing I wanted to show, now with this one here, I used a very soft pale blue, and then I let the ink dry, and then I went over several times with the same color to make some soft spots. You can see I've also added a little bit of white gel pen at the end to add some highlights. I won't do that today, but I thought the great thing with this design here, when I do my colouring sheets, some of them I fill in with lots of detailing and others I will leave just plain. And that gives you some room that you can add to it if you want. So my example, I'm going to take just a black thin ink pen, and I'm just going to add a few little extras to this egg before I start colouring. I'm just going to draw a few little spots just so that I've got a nice Easter egg. And Easter is coming up very shortly for us, it'll be next month. So this will help me to make some cute cards. So you can see there, I've just added a few little circles and half circles, and I've changed the design of my egg already. So I'm going to begin my colouring process. I'm going to begin with the inside of the ears and the nose, and we may speed up some of this process. You'll see how I do my colouring and my shading, and then I'll cut it out at the end so you can see how I've used this sheet. Okay, so I've come to the end of my colouring here of that image, and I'm just going to do a little bit of cutting. So I have a small sharp pair of scissors. Usually I like to just trim this off the main sheet, and I can work on these at another time. And then I like to just come in and give a little bit of a border around the outside so that it looks like it could have been cut with a metal die. So I can throw that away, and here I have my image. I can choose to put it on a card. If I bring in some foam tape or foam squares, I can just get that ready, peel off this release paper, add this to the middle of my card. And I've got some room to put a happy Easter greeting here or add any extra embellishments or stamping. You can see that it's lifted up off our card. And so there's our cute little rabbit.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video, seeing how we're able to download and use our printable colouring sheets. As you saw in the video, we have hundreds of designs available. We also have scrapbooking, layout guides, instruction sheets, all sorts of projects available. So subscribe to save on all of our designs. I have a link in the description below where you can click directly to get to our website.